Hello, this is the Dove Lady again, and I want to do a showing of some of my orbs that I've captured this month of April. And I'm not going to be reading anything so I can concentrate on getting the best picture, hopefully without the Newton rings in it. And I've got it on pan and zoom. It's looking pretty good so far. I'm at a good distance from the screen, so maybe that's going to make the difference. I really wish people could see these as they look on my screen. They never translate as well when I put them into videos that I take with my cell phone. But so far I'm not getting the Newton rings. That's good. This month has given me some very colorful orbs. I love the color in them. I get lost in the color in these orbs. And sometimes I think it's kind of foolish for the scientific community to write this off as bugs or dust or little perturbations inside the glass. Because what I'm focusing my camera on is the shiny spot of light. And sometimes the shiny spot of light is just hovering a little bit above the piece of glass. And that certainly wouldn't show perturbations inside the glass. Those things, maybe they do affect it to some degree, but they couldn't make all these different beautiful views of light that I'm getting. And it certainly isn't a bug. But then they don't know, the scientists don't know, and how would they know it? How would they believe me though I tell them that I can see with the naked eye a whole lot of what I see in these orbs? But that they can dismiss as just someone making something up or something. But I hope those who look at my videos know I'm not the person that would do that. I don't want to fool anyone. I don't want to fool myself. Now, when I first started seeing these, I saw them with the naked eye, but I didn't know that I could film them. When I found out that I could film them, I was so excited. But I did ask myself all the questions that maybe it's something that this piece of glass does that with the light that's shining through it. But then I ruled that out because I used several different pieces of glass and they all would show certain things that wouldn't be in all of them. And I just tried various things to prove to myself, even though I knew that I see this with the naked eye. I did do several attempts that I made to assure myself that it wasn't just some little phenomena of light that's easily explained away. People have said, oh, it's caustics. No, I play around with caustics. Caustics is fun. You take a glass object and shine a light right down on top of it with a white sheet underneath, and the light will put the most beautiful designs onto that white piece of paper or whatever it is that's white. And sometimes it will have color in it, but they don't look like orbs. They don't have that little telltale ring around the edges of it like orbs so often do. Several rings will sometimes be around the edge of orb. I do have artifacts. This camera I'm using for this one does put artifacts. Oh, I'm using two cameras. Some of these pictures are with my camera that doesn't have artifacts, and some of them are not. Some of them are with my Kodak. I have a Kodak and I have a Nikon. The Kodak has artifacts in it. That means, when I say artifacts, what I'm talking about is little things that seem to be stuck inside the camera's workings because they appear on the picture that I take always in the same place. So when something appears in the same place over and over, you know it's something that is debris or something inside your camera. I'll show it when I have one from that camera that I know them because they have a distinctness that camera does. And some of these pictures will be from that camera, and I will show you the artifacts. I'm getting pretty good pictures today with my cell phone. And when I'm taking these pictures, I can hold it in one spot and just wait for the sun to twinkle or for the colors to change, and I have a whole different picture. If I snap again, holding it in the very same spot. No one around me is interested in my orbs. No person in my immediate surroundings thinks much of this at all. So I don't get that kind of praise for, oh, that's so beautiful, you know. It's mostly the commenters that see my orbs on YouTube that appreciate them. But I'm not going to get the big head from anyone around me saying, oh, what, let me look at your pictures you got today. Because they're not interested, they're not interested. And, you know, you can't force anyone to be interested in something. They either are or they're not. And I learned a long time ago, don't force something on anyone. That's not right to do that. So I don't. I just let it be. But I will find someone, I already have found someone, who wants to work with me with the orbs. I'm going to get her in the background like the foliage is in these photos. These few right here are taken outdoors. You can see the foliage. If a person were back there in that foliage, their face would show through that orb. And I think that would be so unique to get people in the pictures I take of orbs. And you're going to see me showing you orbs like that when I get with her and we make some more orb pictures. And I'll show her how I do this. I'm sure she'll be able to do it too. And then maybe I'll get in one of the pictures. The picture taker never gets in the pictures. See, that one's very see-through there. You can see out practically the whole tree through the thinness of that orb. But sometimes the colors are so dense looking that you wouldn't be able to see a person. I think it's time now for the scientists of this world, the quantum physicists for sure, especially the particle physicist, to take notice of things that people who are like mystics are able to tell them. Because I read a lot of books by the mystics of old and present day. And they talk about the atom. And I think it would be wise for those who are interested in studying all the little details about light to listen to what the mystics had to say about it. Walter Russell, a lot of the things he said about light is something that they're coming around just now to sort of see a little bit of what he talked about. And now he was a man who went into the science of light. he used scientific words that where I'm reading him, but he loses me because I don't understand all that he's talking about. I just have that gut feeling that he's right, because he was shown all of this in his Divine Iliad 1 and Divine Iliad 2. He has words from God that he recorded, and just as God said to him, exact words. And it's more important to me to read those words than it is for the Bible. Although there's still some verses in the Bible I think are very, very good. It's just there's not a lot of them. But there are some jewels in there. I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, especially Jesus, because I love that personality of Jesus, because he taught love and forgiveness. But I don't think he can forgive you of he can't. What we have to do is we have to forgive others of their sins against us. Jesus can't do that for you. You have to do that for yourself, because others have sinned against you. And Jesus' forgiveness has nothing to do with your forgiving others who've sinned against you. That's something you have to do yourself. It can't be done vicariously for you. So I always say, I'm Christ-like. I'm not a Christian, but I'm Christ-like because I believe like Jesus did, that we all do great things, greater than he did. He said we would do greater things than he had done. And look what he did. He raised people from the dead. He walked on water. He multiplied the bread and the fishes. All these things we need to be able to do, and I look around, don't see anyone doing them, myself included. And I want to begin being able to do those things. I don't think they're impossible. Now, this is all these pictures going by now were taken with my Nikon camera. And when you get a little digital camera, it doesn't have to be real expensive. Probably even better if it isn't, because the more expensive ones have a lot of filters in them. And you don't want all those filters that filter out all of the rays of light that you really want to capture. But you must have one when you take these pictures that will bring the focus in at several degrees, because it's only by going in real close on the spot of light that I'm able to get these pictures. So you have to have a zoom that goes in and out. That is very necessary. But the expense of the camera, well, I would say a couple $100. That would be a cheap camera, but there are some even cheaper. I haven't explored enough with all the different kinds of cameras. But I never do anything to the picture but take some of the dark out so that the colors will pop out. Picasso has a program where you can take the dark out. See, too much of light is just as bad as too much of darkness. And these polarities of light and dark, they both are necessary. I think it's not necessary that the light be too light, too bright, or the dark be too dark. There's a happy medium there somewhere where they can both dwell together. Because without the dark in these pictures, you would not be seeing all this color. And without opposition in our life, our true colors wouldn't be seen. We wouldn't know them ourselves without a challenge in our life. if we lived a life where everything was just perfect all the time for us, on the other side, we would look at that life and say, I learned nothing. I had it too easy. I was just complacent and willing to just enjoy and indulge my senses and never go much deeper than that. So, see the things that happen to you that aren't all that pleasant. See them as having a gift to give you, because there's something you can learn that you came here to learn. And if you will look for the gift that every experience, good or bad, that you have in your life has to give you, you will see there's a gift in it, even though it was something quite bad. It's just a play we're acting out here anyway. It's not real. It's like we're not on real time, we're on REEL, real time, like I think we're like in a computer-generated kind of world, only a very sophisticated computer where we're like the living wires or networks within the computer. Although computer sounds like not a really good word for consciousness, makes it sound mechanical and without feeling or something, but no, this is a very feeling kind of computer-like mind that we're in. And we're learning while we're in the illusion, while we're in this world of illusion. This is where we learn our lessons. This is equipping us for future explorations that we will have in our future. And I do believe we're going to be out there amongst the stars. We're going to be able to travel all around in this great big universe and cosmos. And Earth is a difficult school, I've heard. One of the most difficult, but what you learn here is one of the most beneficial. And you and I both were brave souls to even decide to be born on Earth. Because a lot of souls might not choose such a hard quest to be on. I'm always amazed at the colors, and they can be real pink and red, and then the next one be a totally different kind of color. Ones like this, I've gone in so far you can't see the outer edges, but this is round. It's just that I go in so deep with the focus that I get not the edges of it anymore. And I keep thinking, well, the colors can't get any more beautiful than they already are. And then one like this turns up and, yeah, they can. They can get even more. I wish I could read the communication that color has to give me in this, because this is light and light is information. So I'm sure these orbs have a language that we don't yet understand. But when I take pictures, it's like I'm on an exploration into another realm, and I'm the explorer with my camera. I explore it. And I kind of hope not anyone can take these pictures. I kind of hope it could be like a gauge. And what I mean by that is I hope that it has the requirement that you can't get these pictures unless you believe that all is one, that God is in every one you see. And you don't say, oh, well, there's some people that are just soulless. There's some beings that are just only meant to go to the depths of hell. If you have that attitude, I hope you can't get these pictures. I hope only those who see oneness in all that is and in all fellow men would be the ones who could get these pictures when they try their hand at taking pictures like this. I made a video that explains how I take these pictures, and I might put it in the description bar in case anyone wants to give this a go and try to do it themselves. But I tell you, you might not get them unless you believe in oneness. Oneness is one of the universal laws, the very first one that's talked about in the book that I read called The Light Shall Set You Free. They talk about the universal laws, and oneness is the very first one that they talk about. We are all one. I forget who said it, but everyone is wanting love. And those who seem to be saying unlovely things are really, they're just giving out a cry for love. They need love. They need someone to not just look at their meanness, but to see that they have God in them too, and help draw that out of them. Draw them into the light and not just scare them further back into the darkness. If you strike out at the darkness without compassion, you too will be drawn into the darkness. Because if you hate something with enough fierceness of your hate, you will become just like the thing. You will become just like the thing that you hate. And you don't want that to happen to you. You don't want to be a cynical person that always sees the terribleness, because two people can walk the same path and one see only ugly and the other see everything wonderful and beautiful. It's us who determines that. Happiness, they say, is a choice. You choose to be happy. Or maybe you just choose to be right, and then you can see all the things you think you're right about. Yes, this is just as terrible as you thought it was, and here you can prove it. And so you show some evil politician doing something really, really bad, greedy, and no doubt they are, but you don't have to judge them over it. Or say, see, I was right. Because those people can change. Sometimes they are the way they are because that's how we believe for them to be. We have a part in the reality that we see out there in front of us, because calling things like we see them is not the way to do. You call what is not as though it were. I think there's a verse in the Bible that says, the good king scatters the evil with his eye. Your way of beholding something can change what you behold. I wrote a poem once, a little short one. The world will not change until we change our perception of it. We still call things good and bad. One day we're up, one day we're down. Because we do not know there is perfection in the process. You might be looking at just one brush stroke of a beautiful painting, and you don't like that one brush stroke. But when you see the complete painting, you'll see the necessity of that little bit of darkness right there in the painting. I doubt that I'm going to get all these pictures in because I'm already at 25 minutes. I have them set for 9 seconds each to pan and zoom. I'm at 26 minutes already. I'm just going to let this play out. Maybe I won't be talking when it does, so you won't hear a sentence cut short. So I'm just going to be quiet from now on until this just plays out. So this is the Dove Lady, over and out for now, but the film is going to keep on going.